Hello family, welcome back to Dennis Digital Lab once again. In my previous video, I spoke to you about MAC addresses and also I spoke to you about Python and why as a beginner in cybersecurity or ethical hacking. The reason why we like to learn Python programming and also not to rely on AI to generate your code for you. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to show you the manual way of doing this. But before we begin, I would like to inform you that there will be a new series that will be coming up whereby I'll be talking to you about the theory aspect of cybersecurity. We'll be talking about security policies and implementation issues, and also we'll be looking at the ethical aspect of cybersecurity, because cybersecurity is not only about the technical aspect. You also need to know about the legalities that is attached to cybersecurity and ethical hacking, and also the policies that governs an organization pertaining to their security infrastructure. And also I'll be doing a series on home lab, how to create home labs as a beginner in cybersecurity who is preparing to actually get a job in cybersecurity. We'll be creating real life home labs. Yes, we'll be looking at active directories and how to set up attack vectors as a red team. We'll be creating a C2 service and all that. Okay, so if you've not followed these pages, I'll recommend that you do follow so that when I release these videos, you'll get a chance to watch and also learn from it as well. Okay, so this video is going to be a long one, but if you are truly serious about cybersecurity and ethical hacking, then I strongly recommend that you watch this video to the end, because trust me, you're going to learn a lot from this video. So if you have any question, you can put that at the comment section. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to show you the manual way of doing this, and I assume that by now you have Kali Linux set up as a virtual machine on your device. Okay, so on our machine here we have Kali Linux over here, and for every virtual machine you see here, VirtualBox is the one handling our network connection for us, or our internet connection for us. As you can see, when I go to the settings tab and I go to network, you can see here's the MAC address. And remember, the first tool we are creating is a MAC address changer. Yes, we are creating a Python tool that will automatically change our MAC address for us, because if we are to change our MAC address on a Linux environment, there are three commands we are supposed to run, which is the command that is used to change our MAC address. There are actually two ways of doing this, which is by using the ifconfig, which is the obsolete or the old way of doing it, and also using the IP command. Okay, yes, but in this series we'll be using the ifconfig command to write a Python program to change our MAC address for us, and after us I'll show you how to update this code using the IP command, which is the recommended command to change our MAC address. Okay, and the reason why I'm doing this is because there are cases where you visit a website like GitHub or any website to download a tool, and then you bring it to your device and run it, and you'll be getting some errors. In that case, you would have to go into that code and then do some changes to the code before the code will actually run for you. Okay, we are here on my PC right here, and as you can see, when you want to change the MAC address on a virtualized environment or on a virtual machine, here is where you change it. You change it from this part. If you can't see this, you come to here, you see I'm at the expert section, but mostly when you open it, you might be at the basic section. When you're at the basic section, you can't see the MAC address. You see it has vanished over here. You can't see, so you have to change it to the expert section so that you can change it here. Take note of this MAC address, okay? That is 002222222222. That is the MAC address. So let's start Kali Linux here. So as we wait for Kali to start, I would like to talk to you about some problems we face by trying to change our MAC address inside a virtual machine. The problem we face is after we've changed our MAC address inside a virtual machine, we will get a temporary failure in name resolution. Okay, so Kali has opened, so let me go inside and show you this issue I'm talking about. So as you can see, I have internet connection. As you can see here, it said why connected. I'm using a bridge adapter over here. Okay, so I'll open the terminal and then I'll ping Google for you to see that I actually have internet connection. And as you can see, I have internet connection over here. Okay, so there are three commands involved in changing our MAC address. Okay, let's first see our network interface. So here, this is the virtualized network interface given to us by VirtualBox. Okay, yes, and then here is the IP address, and here is the MAC address. The MAC address that we've set inside VirtualBox. Remember, VirtualBox is the one giving us the internet connection. It is the bridge between our host machine, which is my Windows machine here, and Kali Linux. Okay, it is based on VirtualBox that we actually get internet connection. So if we change our MAC address over here, inside Kali Linux. It doesn't get updated at VirtualBox. So we will get an error message or a warning saying temporary failure in name resolution, because VirtualBox does not have the new MAC address we will later set. VirtualBox don't know that MAC address, so we will lose internet connection. Let me do it so that you see what I'm talking about. Before we begin, I need to change my permissions from a normal user to a super user. So I'll do the sudo su command so that I have an admin privilege, because these commands needs you to be a super user before it can be executed without any issues. Okay, so I'll do ifconfig eta0. Remember, we are changing that virtualized network interface. We need to disable the network interface first before we can change the MAC address. Okay, so we say ifconfig eta0 down. You see, we will lose internet connection right away because we've disabled that network interface. And as you can see here, I've lost internet connection. So if I ping google.com, take note of this error. Okay, the temporary failure in name resolution, take note of that. So we do the second command, which is ifconfig eta0 hw ether, and then we set it to the new MAC address, which is, let's do it 00. The first one was 0022222222. Okay, but this one we'll do it 0011221122112211. Okay, yes, so that you see. So the last one is 11. Take note of that. That is the new MAC address we are changing it to. Press enter. You see it got executed without any issue. That means the command was successful. And the last one is to enable the interface again. So ifconfig eta0 up, and you see we get our network connection back again as is. But here is the problem. This new MAC address we've changed it to, VirtualBox don't know this MAC address. Remember, we changed it from here. Here is it. Remember, this is what VirtualBox knows. And remember, VirtualBox is the one giving us the network connection. VirtualBox is the one giving us internet access. And it knows that Kali Linux is supposed to have this MAC address. And we have changed it for Kali, but VirtualBox don't know this MAC address. So even though we still have internet connection here, that it is connected, wide connection, but still we don't have internet access. So let's try to ping Google again and see that we'll get that same error. We get still temporary failure in name resolution. And as you can see, we are getting temporary failure in name resolution. If we were to run this same commands on Kali Linux as a host machine, which is not inside a virtualized environment, we will not get this issue. Kali has direct access to our physical hardware network interface card. Okay, it has direct access to it. But here's the case whereby Kali is running in a VirtualBox. So Kali don't have direct access to my machine's network interface card. So we changing it, Kali can't access that. Okay, so before we can change, we need to change it inside VirtualBox before it will be updated over here. So let's change it to the previous MAC address. Okay, so let's do it again. Let's clear the screen and do ifconfig eta0 down. We are disabling it again, and as you can see, it is disabled. And we do ifconfig eta0 eta0 hw ether, and let's change it to the previous one, which is 00, the one that VirtualBox actually knows, which is this one, 00222222. Okay, so let's change it to that one. So 00222222. This is what VirtualBox knows. So let's change it to that one again, and let's do ifconfig eta0 up again. And as you can see, the network is back. And let's ping Google again. Ping Google. And as you can see, we have internet connection back again. We didn't get that failure in name resolution. You see, we didn't get that error message because that is what VirtualBox actually knows. Okay, it doesn't know about the new one that we set, which is the 001122112211. It doesn't know that MAC address, even though Kali knows that MAC address, but VirtualBox is the one giving us internet access. So as I said earlier, if we were to do this on a Kali Linux as a host machine, you wouldn't have faced this issue at all, because with that one, Kali has direct access to our network card, so it will be updated without any issue. So I'll be connecting this wireless adapter here, which I use for network penetration testing. I'll be connecting it directly to Kali Linux so that Kali will have direct access to this wireless adapter, and we will do the same process on this wireless adapter, and you see that it will work without we facing the error message, temporary failure in name resolution. We would not face that kind of issue with this wireless adapter because Kali will have direct access to this wireless adapter. So let me plug it in and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I've inserted my wireless adapter to the machine. So what I'll do is this: I'll go to devices, USB, and then here is it, the Atrios UB93. That is the wireless adapter. So I'll enable it from here. And then let's open the terminal again and see if Kali Linux can see this wireless adapter. So we type ifconfig again. And as you can see here, yes, here is the wireless adapter. And here is its MAC address. So let's copy this MAC address. I'll open the editor mousepad, and then I'll put this MAC address over here, okay? I'll put this MAC address over here. Let me disable the virtualized network interface card, which is the ETA0, so that we know that we don't have internet connection to this ETA0. Later on, I'll show you that when we change it inside VirtualBox, it will automatically update here inside Kali. Okay, when we will change this back to the one that we set, which was 00. So let's copy this one too and put it here. And then later on, we will change this one from 00. We'll change it to 001122112211. Okay, we'll change it to this one inside VirtualBox, and you see that it will be updated over here inside Kali 2 as well. Okay, so now let's disable the ETA0s, and we only rely on the wireless adapter I've just connected, which is the LAN 0. We rely on only that for internet connection. Okay, so let's clear the terminal. Then let's do ifconfig ETA0 down. I want to disable it. Permission issue. I need to run this as a sudo user. So sudo ifconfig ETA0 down. And as you can see, it got executed without any issue. So let's wait for the network interface. See, now as you can see, the network interface has been disabled. The virtualized network interface that has been given to us by VirtualBox has been disabled. So now we are only relying on the wireless adapter I just inserted into my device. That's what we are relying on to get internet connection. So now I'll ping Google again for you to see that we actually have internet connection. So I'll ping Google. And let's wait and see. And as you can see, I have internet connection over here, which is given to us by our wireless adapter. Okay, so when I do ifconfig, and as you can see, the ETA0 has been disabled. We've disabled that network interface. Okay, we are only getting internet access by our wireless adapter over here, which has this IP address, and this is its MAC address. Okay, this is its MAC address. So let's do the same process we did with the ETA0 and see if we face that temporary failure in name resolution. Okay, so ifconfig, let's change it to super user. I don't like typing the sudo all the time, so sudo su, and do ifconfig LAN 0 down. Remember, there are 3 commands. We need to disable the network interface first, change it, and then we'll bring it up again. So we'll disable it by doing ifconfig LAN 0 down. You see, nothing shows here that it has been disabled like the previous one. The sign will not change for you to see that it has been disconnected. But when I ping Google again, you'll see I'll get temporary failure in name resolution. As you can see here, I've lost internet connection. So I'll do ifconfig LAN 0 HW ether, and let's change it to 00444444. Okay. So we've changed it. It has executed without any issue. We'll bring it back up again. LAN 0 up. And as you can see, it's also got executed without any issue. So let's clear it and do ifconfig to see. And as you can see, this is the new MAC address we've changed it to. This is the new MAC address. So let me copy it and come here. This is the initial MAC address of the wireless adapter, okay? And this MAC address would never change, okay? When I unplug this wireless adapter and then insert it back again, it will revert back to this MAC address, okay? Because it is bent into the hardware. It is the hardware's fingerprint, okay? So this is the new one that we set it to. This is the new one. And let's ping Google and see if you get temporary failure again. Ping Google, and as you can see, we have internet connection. You see, we didn't face that kind of issue. This is because Kali has direct access to this wireless adapter I just connected. So if you are running Kali Linux as a host machine, you will not face this kind of issue at all with the 8080. You will not face that kind of issue with Kali at all, because Kali has direct access to the hardware interface card of your device, okay, your laptop or your desktop. Kali will have direct access to it, so you will not face that temporary failure in name resolution. Okay, let's save this for later. So that's MAC address. Let's save it as MAC address, and let's save it on our desktop. Okay, so now let's power it off. Now, so you come back. So remember, this is the MAC address. You see, they have it here. So let's change it to the one that we set earlier, which is 001122112211. Okay, this is it. This is what we are changing our Kali VirtualBox network interface card. This is what we are changing our virtualized network interface card to. If you are running Kali Linux in a virtualized environment, this is where you change it from. If you don't have the wireless adapter to use, you will simply change it from here, because if you change it inside Kali Linux, you will lose internet connection. Okay, so you need to change it from here. You click OK, and then you restart Kali Linux again. So please put that MAC address in your mind. Remember that. So up to this point, if you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to like, follow, and also save this video for later, because you actually need it. If you're serious about cybersecurity and ethical hacking, then you are at the right place. Follow this page so that whenever I release new videos, you will have access to these videos. And remember, as I told you earlier, cybersecurity is not just about the technical part. You need to also know about the legal and ethical aspects of cybersecurity. I'll creating videos on security policies and implementations issues, and also the legal and ethical aspects of cybersecurity, so that you get to know about the legal and ethical aspects of cybersecurity. Before you can work in an organization, you need to know about their policies and also the general ethics in cybersecurity, so that you will not find yourself illegal stuff or unlawful acts in the organization. Okay, yeah, so Kali has started. Let's enter into Kali. I'll do ifconfig again. And as you can see, here is the IP address, and here is the new MAC address we've changed it to. Remember, the previous MAC address was 222. Here is it. If you remember, here is it. And I told you we'll be changing it to this one. So as you can see, we've changed it here. And when I ping Google, I'll not have any issue, because VirtualBox actually knows this new MAC address. It knows this MAC address. Remember, here is it. When I go back to VirtualBox, go to the settings, and I go to the network tab, here is it. As you can see, 001122112211. That is the new MAC address we've given to Kali Linux. So with this one, VirtualBox knows this MAC address, so we will not face any issue. We will not face any temporary failure in name resolution, because VirtualBox is the one giving us the network connection. So if we change it inside Kali Linux and then we don't update it inside VirtualBox, there will be no communication between these two. So that's how you change your MAC address. If you have any question, you can put it under the comment section. I'll do well to help you out if you are facing any issue. So this is how you can change your MAC address using the ifconfig command. Okay, so from this point forward, you'll be relying on the ETA0, since everyone will have ETA0 on his or her device. Yes, everyone will have the ETA0. We're relying on the ETA0, even though it's not working. It will not be working in Kali as a virtual machine. Any operating system you have in VirtualBox, that is all these devices you have here, the Ubuntu, the Windows Active Directory, the Windows 11, or if you want to change its MAC address, you just select the operating system, come to settings, and then go to the network tab, and remember to be at the expert tab, not at the basic. You have to be at the expert tab, and then you simply change it from here. Okay, this is where you change the MAC address of any of these devices. That's where you change it from. Okay, yes. So in my next video, I'll show you how to change it on a Windows device. Okay, an actual Windows device. We'll go back to Kali, and I'll show you the new command that we will later change the ifconfig to, which is the IP command. So when I do IP IDDR, and here is it. Here is the virtualized network interface card given to us by VirtualBox, which is the ETSU, and this is the MAC address. Remember, this is the MAC address we change it to. And when you start Kali or any virtual machine, you can't later change its MAC address. You need to power the machine off before you can change its MAC address. So remember, this is the MAC address of Kali Linux. Yes, here is it 0011221122. And you can see the same thing here in Kali Linux 00. And this is the IP address. Okay, so to do it using the IP command, you do IP link set ETS0 down. Permission error. Remember, we need to be a super user before. So let's clear the screen again. Then do sudo su. Then you do IP link set ETS0 down. See, it got executed without any issue. We will lose internet connection right away. You see, you've lost internet connection. So this one is the recommended command to use for this kind of things. Okay, the ifconfig is no longer recommended. You are supposed to use the IP now. So if I do IP link set ETA0 address, let's set it to 002233223322. Okay, this is the new MAC address we are sending it to. Remember, the initial one was 0011221122. Okay, so we are now setting it to 002233223322. You can actually set it to any one you like, but remember it has to be 6. So I hit enter. It's got executed without any issue. And the last command is IP link set ET0 up. Okay, sorry, I made a ET0 up, and as you can see, we will get our network connection back again. And as you can see, but remember, we will still face that issue, temporary failure in name resolution. Let me pick Google again. You get temporary failure in name resolution because VirtualBox don't know this MAC address. To change it to this 002233223322, you need to come to VirtualBox here, settings, the network tab, and then change it over here. This is where we are supposed to change it. But remember, if we were to run this inside Kali Linux as a host machine, you will not face this temporary failure in name resolution. This only happens to virtual machines. Okay, let me power it off and let's change it to the 00223322, and you see that it will be updated here too as well. So let me power it off again, and then let's change it over here 0022333322. Okay, so as you wait, if you are still enjoying this video, please don't forget to like, follow, and also save this video for later. Okay, if you're interested in cybersecurity, ethical hacking, you're on the right page or you're at the right channel. So as you wait for it to boot, remember I said we will starting home labs. Yeah, you need to be creating home labs. You need to be getting your hands dirty as a cybersecurity student or professional. You need to be simulating attacks, playing with simulations of network attacks and defenses. Whilst we are doing this Python series, I'll also be releasing home labs. We'll be simulating real world attack vectors and all that, so that you see how it's actually done. Okay, we'll be doing mobile hacking too as well. Yeah, mobile hacking, how to do penetration testing on mobile applications and all that. So let's check if our MAC address has been changed. Ifconfig, and as you can see, it has been changed over here 0022332233. And when I ping Google, I'll not get that temporary failure in name resolution. Okay, see, I'm not getting that issue again. Yes, so this is how you can change your MAC address, and also using a wireless adapter. As you can see here, I showed you this IP command we use will also work for this wireless adapter. And if you want this kind of wireless adapter, you can DM me and I can get you one. It can be used, so it is used for Wi-Fi hacking and a whole lot, while Wi-Fi penetration testing and a whole lot more. Yeah, so if you need one, you can DM me and I can get you one at a cool price too as well. So you end here for today. In my next video, which will be episode 3, you actually start writing the Python program. So if you don't have PyCharm installed, I'll recommend you install PyCharm on your device. And if you want me to do a video on how to set up VirtualBox and Kali Linux, you can comment VirtualBox at the comment section. And then if I get more than 50 comments about it, I'll do a video about it. Because when you go to YouTube, there are a lot of videos about how to set up VirtualBox and Kali Linux. Yes, you can get a whole lot of videos about it. That's why I didn't show you how to set up Kali Linux and VirtualBox. That's why I didn't show you that. Yes, so you can just go to YouTube and see how to set up Kali Linux on a virtualized environment. Okay, yes. So you end here for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a comment down below and also like this video and also save it for later. So see you in my next video.